I used to think I was careful. I locked my doors at night. Sometimes, I checked twice, probably pod-induced paranoia. But I never lost my keys. Never left my bag on the train. Well, once. But I was exhausted. I wasn't the type to forget things, and I'd never be the kind of person to forget something as simple as turning off a light. Yet, a few weeks ago, I woke up and found the hallway light still on. I stood there, staring at it, my mind sluggish with sleep. The switch was in the on position. I could have sworn I flipped it before bed. Maybe I was mistaken. Maybe I'd been tired. Maybe I only thought I had flipped it. Then, a few days later, I found my coffee cup in a sink. Brown residue at the bottom. I didn't remember making it. I definitely didn't remember drinking it. I live alone. Maybe it's stress. Work is killing me. Deadlines piling up. The office feels like the little gangs we used to form during recess, kids from the villages nearby sticking together against kids from the city. Except now, it's the older bickering women against the younger generation. And I'm stuck in the middle at 40 years old. Too young to be bitter. Too old to be cool. Maybe it's the weed. I've been smoking more to forget I'm not where I wanted to be in life. Never got a promotion. Never traveled. Just stuck in the same apartment. The same job. The same endless loop. Maybe I'm sleepwalking. Mom used to sleepwalk. It's probably something genetic. But none of that explains the bathroom mirror. One morning, I walked in to find it fogged up. Faint streaks cutting through the steam like someone had dragged their fingers across the glass. But I hadn't showered yet. I hadn't even turned the water on. My scalp pricked lead. My stomach twisted itself into knots. I stood there, waiting, as if the streaks would shift under my gaze. As if some of my reflection might move on the other side of the glass. I told myself it was nothing. I started sleeping with the lights on. Then, a few nights ago, I woke up to the sound of floorboards creaking. Slow, deliberate. A shift of weight from one foot to the other. The building is old. The wood settles. That's all it is. That's all it has to be. But last night, it was different. A soft click. Like a door latch releasing. I jolted awake. Heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I stayed still, just straining against the quiet. I wanted to believe I was dreaming. That my brain was playing tricks on me. That it was just another symptom of my fraying mind. I unlocked my phone. The screen glared back at me, 3:17 a.m. The air in my apartment felt heavy, suffocating. The room was silent, except for the faint hum of the fridge down the hall. I held my breath, listening. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe I was half asleep, my mind filling in the gaps with something worse. And I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to check. Because what if I forgot to lock the door? What if there's someone standing in the hallway right now, just outside my bedroom? I turned my phone's brightness down. If someone was here, I didn't want them to see the glow. I forced myself to stay still. My fingers clenched the sheets, nails pressing into my palm. Minutes passed. Then more. Nothing. I almost convinced myself I was being paranoid again. That my mind was just playing cruel tricks on me. Until I saw the shadow under the door. A sliver of darkness moving against the dim glow from the hallway. It wasn't still. It wasn't furniture. It shifted slow, deliberate, dragging across the floor like it was testing the space before each step. My chest seized. I didn't dare breathe. I wanted to run, to jump out of the window, to do something, but I couldn't move. I couldn't move. I squeezed my eyes shut, counted to 10, 20. When I opened them again, the shadow was gone. Silence, just the fridge humming. I stayed awake until dawn. And when the sun finally bled through the curtains, I forced myself to get up, to check the apartments, to tell myself it was nothing. I didn't find anything this morning. But the thing is mostly untouched. I stopped turning off my bedroom light days ago. And last night, I woke up in the dark. Have you ever looked at your reflection and felt something was off? Like it wasn't just a reflection but something more, something watching? I never gave it much thought before. Mirrors were just mirrors, ordinary, harmless, a part of everyday life. I had passed by them, glanced at them, adjusted my hair in them 1,000 times without a second thought. But that changed the night I got the emergency alert. That was the night I learned the truth. Mirrors aren't just reflections. And sometimes, They looked back. I had been up for hours, buried under textbooks, drowning in notes, trying to cram as much information into my brain as possible. The next morning, I had an exam when I wasn't prepared for, no matter how much I studied. My laptop screen flickered in front of me, its glow the only light in my otherwise dark room. My fingers trembled slightly, a side effect of too much caffeine and too little sleep. My body begged for rest, but my mind wouldn't shut up. I ran a hand through my hair, sighing. The words on the screen were blurring together, my vision swimming. Maybe I just needed a break, just a quick one. A splash of water on my face. Maybe brushing my teeth. Something to wake me up. That's when it happened. A vibration. A short, sharp buzz from my phone, barely noticeable over the quiet hum of my laptop's fan. At first, I ignored it. Probably just another spam notification. But then the screen lit up, the glow casting eerie shadows across my cluttered desk. I reached for my phone absently, my toothbrush already in my mouth as I walked toward the bathroom. I unlocked the screen without thinking, glancing at the message. EMERG and CYLERT, COVRILLMIRORS, IMMEDIADLY, DONOTLOOK, INTOA and YREFLECT, IVSURFACS, DONOTAT, EMPT, LYNTILYNT, HYOUREFLECTION. I frowned. What? My groggy brain struggled to process it. An emergency alert? Like an Amber Alert? A weather warning? But why mirrors? I blinked at the words, my thoughts sluggish. Then, out of instinct, my eyes flicked up, and my reflection wasn't brushing its teeth. I felt it instantly, that horrible, sinking feeling in my gut, like stepping off the last stair when you weren't expecting it. My body stiffened. The toothbrush was still in my mouth, the bristles pressing against my teeth. But the other me, it was just standing there, watching, unmoving. A chill crawled up my spine, slow and suffocating. My hands turned clammy, my skin prickling with cold. The bathroom suddenly felt too small, too quiet. The air pressed against my chest, thick and heavy. I should have looked away. I should have backed out of the room, turned off the light, done anything but what I did next. I stared, because something inside me needed to be sure. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe this was my brain playing tricks on me after hours of studying. But then, the reflection tilted its head, and I didn't. A sharp jolt of terror shot through me. My body reacted before my brain could catch up. I stumbled backward, my hip slamming into the bathroom counter. The toothbrush slipped from my fingers, clattering into the sink. My breath hitched. My pulse pounded against my ribs, hard enough that I swore I could hear it. The reflection still didn't move. It didn't copy my panic. It just stood there, staring at me, its head still tilted at that unnatural angle. Buzz. My phone vibrated again, a sound making me flinch. I tore my gaze away from the mirror just long enough to glance at the screen. RULESDOSDAYSAFE, DONOTLOOKINTOTMIROR, COVRALL RFLECTIVSURFACES, IFYOUSC, IOURFLECTIONMOVA, DONOTREACT, DONOTLET. My stomach twisted. The words blurred together, my hands shaking too much to hold the phone still. I needed to cover the mirror. That was the logical thing to do, right? Just cover it. Just stop looking. I took a shaky breath and forced my feet to move. A slow, careful step forward. Another. I reached for the towel hanging beside the sink, my fingers trembling. That's when my reflection smiled. Not a normal smile. Not my usual lopsided grin. This was something else. It stretched too wide, showed too many teeth. A grin that wasn't mine, like it had been waiting for me to notice. I grabbed the nearest towel, hard hammering against my ribs, and threw it over the mirror. The fabric slapped against the glass, falling in uneven folds, covering it completely. Then, I took a shaky step back. Then another. I kept my eyes locked on the covered mirror, as if expecting anything to move underneath. My hands were ice cold. My fingers twitched at my sides, useless and numb. My body felt too stiff, too alert, like every muscle was bracing for something to happen. My breath was shallow, quick. A part of me kept waiting to hear a rustle, for the towel to slip, for something beneath it to shift. But it didn't. It just hung there, lifeless. I forced my gaze down, swallowing against the dryness in my throat. My phone was still clutched in my trembling hands. I flicked my thumb across the screen, desperate for anything, an update, an explanation, something that would tell me this was all just a misunderstanding, a mistake. Another message came through. DONOTICKNOWLEDGIT. ITKNOWSYU. VSENIT. A chill shot through me, deep and sharp. It knew? What did that even mean? I sucked in a breath, but the words stuck to my ribs, heavy and suffocating. I didn't like the way that message was phrased. Like, it wasn't just my reflection. Like it was something else. Something aware. I tried to shake off the uneasiness clawing at my mind. This was ridiculous. I was tired, stressed. My brain was just... He hands suddenly. I heard a laugh. Soft, muffled, coming from behind the towel. I stiffened. I swallowed hard. My mouth was dry. The air felt thinner, as if something was pressing against my chest. I wasn't crazy. I heard that. My skin pricked lead with something worse than fear. I held my breath, straining to listen. But no sooner had I registered the sound than the laughter faded. Gone. Like it had never been there at all. I let out a shaky exhale, but my body wouldn't stop trembling. My muscles ached from how tense I had become. I ran a hand down my face, gripping the edge of the sink to keep myself steady. What is going on? Then, a whisper. Too close. You covered the wrong side. My stomach clenched, and then it laughed. Loud. Wrong. The kind of laughter that shouldn't exist. Something deep in my chest told me not to listen, not to process it. I couldn't stop myself from thinking about the words. Wrong side? What does that mean? What side? I turned my head slowly, every nerve in my body screaming at me not to. My breath hitched in my throat, and my peripheral vision. The towel was still in place, motionless. It hadn't moved, but I knew what it was trying to do. It wanted me to doubt. It wanted me to check. I swallowed, my throat clicking dryly. I wasn't going to fall for it. I wasn't going to look. I wasn't going to give it what it wanted. So I stayed still. My legs felt locked in place, my hands curling into fists at my sides. My fingers dug into my palms, the sharp pain grounding me, keeping me from panicking. The towel was still there. I could see it, and I could also feel it. Something watching me, something smiling. I clenched my jaw, gripping my phone so hard my knuckles turned white. I flicked my eyes down to the screen, desperate for something, anything that could tell me what to do next. Buzz. Another message had come in. DONOTSP, like KTOIT. DONOTTO, UCHTMIROR. IFITSPIKS. DONOTRESPOND. I squeezed my eyes shut, forcing air into my lungs. Then, the whisper came again. Sss. Taunting. I can see you. My stomach twisted. My vision swam. A sound followed. A tap against the glass. And another. Light. Rhythmic. Like fingers drumming in slow anticipation. The air thickened around me, pressing down on my skin. I needed to get out of the bathroom. Now, I turned, heart racing, my fingers reaching for the doorknob, and froze. Because in the reflection of the doorknob, I saw it. A hands. Not mine. Hill fingers pressing against the other side of the mirror. I bolted out of the bathroom, slamming the door so hard the walls trembled. My breath came in sharp gasps. Too fast, too uneven. My chest ached with the effort. This wasn't real. It couldn't be real. With shaking hands, I grabbed my phone and typed frantically into Google. Emergency alert, mirror warning reel. No results. No news articles. Nothing. The world hadn't changed. Outside my room, everything was still normal. But my world? A sharp buzz jolted through my fingers. Another message. DONOTSEIRCHFORNSWERS. DONOTSELP. DONOTLOKD. IRECTLYATITNOMENETRWHATY or UHEIR or CE. WAITUN, ILSUN or ISE. I clenched my jaw so tight it hurt. Wait. That was it. Just wait. A wave of nausea curled through me. My stomach twisted. Then another thought hit me. I am being monitored. They knew I had searched for answers. They knew what I was doing inside my own house. My throat dried up. And if they knew, oh my God, I ran a hand through my hair, my fingers tangling in the strands. Panic clawed at my ribs, pressing against my lungs. Then, a sound, a slow, deliberate scrape, coming from the other side of the bathroom door. I stiffened. Don't look. I really didn't want to look. But I did, and I saw the wood splintering. Something was scratching at it. From the inside, my pulse pounded against my skull. Then, the scraping stopped. The silence that followed wasn't just silence. It was thick, heavy, waiting. My ears rang in the absence of sound. I was so not doing this. I was happy with my normal life. My boring, simple life. What the hell was this mirror thing? Then, knocking. Rhythmic. Knock. Knock. A cold shiver ran through my spine. I bit my lips so hard I tasted copper. Then, a whisper, right against the door. You looked, didn't you? My stomach twisted into knots. I had looked. The alert had told me not to. I gripped my phone so tight my knuckles ached. Another buzz. Another message. YOUMUSTNODT. URNYOURBACKONIT. My breath caught in my throat. I turned. The towel had fallen from the mirror, and my reflection was no longer alone. There was something else in the glass. Not just my reflection. Something taller. Its head was slightly tilted, as if studying me. Its mouth was stretched to wide, to a natural. And its hands? They were pressed against the glass. From the inside. My reflection stood beside it, smiling. A wrong, twisted smile. My breath hitched. My body locked up. A deep, primal fear rooting me in place. I needed to cover the mirror. I needed to. The thing moved. Slowly. It raised one hand thin. Pale fingers dragging down the surface and knocked. Not on my side. But inside. Knock. Knock. The glass bulged outward. Like something was pressing through. The air in the room curdled. My phone buzzed violently. Another alert. LEVETROOM. DONOTRET or NUNTILMORNING. I didn't hesitate. Iran. Morning. The sun rose. The countdown on my phone hit 0. Final message appeared. THEMIRRORISS AFEFORNOW. DONOTLOK ILNENT ELNIGHTFALL TONOTSP BOUTWHAD YOUSAW ITREMEMBRS. I hesitated. Then, step by step, I crept back to the bathroom. The mirror was normal. Just a mirror. No scratches. No handprints. No bulging glass. I almost convinced myself I had imagined it. Until I checked my phone camera. And in the reflection behind me, something grinned. It's been a week. I haven't looked into a mirror since. But I can feel it. Watching. Waiting. And last night, I swear, I saw my reflection move. Before I did, I should have kept driving. That's what I keep thinking. Over and over. If I had just kept my foot on the gas. If I hadn't listened to Casey whining about having to piss. If I hadn't let Jonah convince me that a burger sounded better than gas station jerky. They'd still be here. I wouldn't be sitting in a motel to towels over, lead-eyed and shaking, waiting for the cops to show up and tell me I'm crazy. It was just supposed to be a quick stop. We'd been driving for hours, cutting through the kind of empty stretches of road where the airwaves don't bother carrying radio signals. No signs of life except the occasional distant farmhouse, a rusting tractor sinking into the fields. I don't even remember when we passed the last town. Maybe an hour back. Maybe more. Then the diner appeared on the horizon line. Mel's Eats. The sign flickered like it hadn't been changed in decades. The letters half burned out. The parking lot was empty. Not even a rusted-out truck or an old junker parked around back. But the lights were on. The neon buzzed against the growing dark. Pull over. CC smacked the back of my seat. I've got to piss. That place looks creepy. It looks like they have a bathroom. And unless you want me going in a bottle, you should pull in. Slowly, I veered off the road and into the dusty parking lot. Even though the lights were on, I didn't see anyone through the front windows. Jonah was the first one out. Come on. Let's grab some real food before we have to suffer through another gas station hot dog. Casey left, already jogging toward the front doors, and I hesitated for just a second. It was too quiet. A place like this, even in the middle of nowhere, should have had someone inside. A waitress, a cook, a guy nursing a coffee and reading the paper. Pick a movie trope. It should have been there. But there was nothing. The diner was normal. Checkerboard floors, flannel booths with peeling cushions, a jukebox against the wall that looked like it hadn't played a song in years. The lights were too bright. Everything was spotless. But no one was there. Jonah whistled, a sound too loud in the silence. Maybe they're out back? Casey drummed her hands against the counter. I don't know. Guys, this feels weird. I'm with Casey on this. It feels weird. I gestured over my shoulder. We should just ditch it. I'm hungry. Jonah insisted. Hey, come on. We've got starving customers out here. Unless you want me to start helping myself, I would come take my order. No answer. Jonah pushed through the swinging kitchen door. Let's just check, he said. If no one's here. Of course no one's here. They didn't answer. I followed anyway. Casey right behind me. The kitchen was immaculate. Shiny steel counters, pots hanging on the walls, an old black and white menu board that still had prices from the 80s. But the smell was god-awful. Raw, thick and cloying, like meat left out too long. I gagged, covering my mouth, and then Jonah made a sound something between a choke and a curse. Muffled behind the hand, he just slapped over his own face. He jabbed a finger toward the center of the room, and my gaze followed. The thing on the floor barely looked real. It was half crushed, like something heavy had fallen on it. Its body was stretched and wrung. Too many joints in its limbs. Its skin waxy and split open like an overripe fruit. Its head gone. Its head was somewhere between a dog and an insect. A long snout lined with jagged teeth, with eyes that were bulbous and black. Its legs ended and curled. Chitinous claws. And its torso. The torso was still twitching. I took a step back. What the fuck is that? Jonah turned, face pale. We need to go. Casey made a wet, gasping noise. Her hand clamped over her mouth. Guys, then we heard it. A low, vibrating hum. The walls seemed to shake with it. The sound drilling straight into my skull. Casey clutched at her ears. Jonah shoved past us, barreling through the kitchen door, and I followed on instinct. We ran for the car, shoving the front doors open so hard they nearly broke off their hinges. The air was filled with movement. Shapes crawled down the sides of the building, skittering from the shadows. Limbs too long, mandibles clicking. Those bulbous black eyes reflecting the neon light like polished glass. A dozen, more, they poured from the roof, from the darkness beyond the parking lot, their bodies snapping into place like broken puppets. I ran. I didn't look back, not even when I heard Jonah cursing. Heard Casey scream as something heavy hit the gravel. I heard the snap of bone, wet tearing flesh. I didn't look back. I was in the driver's seat, hands shaking as I jammed the key in the ignition. A shadow slammed against the windshield, something clawing at the glass. My headlights caught a flash of teeth, clicking, grinding together. I reversed so hard my tires screamed, peeling out onto the road. I don't know if Jonah or Casey were still moving. I don't know if they were screaming, if they called my name. I was a coward. I was already gone. The highway blurred past me. My hands felt numb. I didn't stop driving until I reached the next town, my entire body shaken. I finally pulled over. I threw up onto the pavements. I tried telling the cops. They looked at me like I was insane. Sent a car out there. Came back empty-handed. No bodies. No blood. They said the diner was fine. They were lying. Why were they lying? Did they know what's out there? Did they know from the start? No one is talking about this. I keep thinking I hear something right at the edge of my hearing. That low, vibrating hum. It's getting louder. I think they're going to be here soon. At this town. I don't know. I just wanted someone to know what happened. If they lie though, what happens to me? Know that it was the creatures we found in the diner. Know that I was here.